How's it going, everybody? This is Nathan here from Backyard Auto. Today we're working on our Harley-Davidson Sportster once again. I want to find out what happened to our shifter shaft right here. As you can see, our spring is disconnected from our little finger here. If you did not watch part 1 yet, I do highly suggest that you go check out that video first so you hear the story of how this even happened in the first place. But for those who did watch part 1, let's go ahead and start taking this thing apart. So I was gonna make my own tool, but I found this clutch spring compressor tool on Amazon for only 30 bucks. So I figured let's just make our lives a whole lot easier and use the right tools. Don't worry, I'll leave a link down in the description so you can find this tool yourself. So the idea of this tool is you have this threaded nut on the end of it that threads into this shaft. And then you have this hole here so that you could put a flat blade screwdriver in there so you could keep the shaft from turning while you're turning on the nut. As you're tightening the nut, this cage will push down on this clutch spring. It'll allow you to get your snap ring out of there. So let's go ahead and thread on our nut. So the way that I like to do this is you put the nut on there and you take your screwdriver and you rotate the screwdriver counterclockwise, and that threads the shaft into the nut. Make sure you're centered on your clutch spring. I'm gonna go ahead and keep on going here. Once you're tight on your threads on your shaft, this nut here is a 17 millimeter. So just go ahead and hold that and start tightening this. And that is pushing in the clutch spring. As you can see, there is a lot of slack in there, and that allows you to grab your snap ring. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing in on the entire tool, and you're able to push in and push up, and then once you push up you could slide that snap ring out. And you push up and pull out, and there goes out my snap ring. You actually could probably leave all this in there like so. And when you're compressing a clutch spring, you don't want to just always have it compressed. This could wear down the clutch spring, so just always unthread it. I'm not going to leave it on there just so that I don't damage the clutch spring. Make sure you set this on a safe area. As you can see, my clutch spring is removed from my tool. I'm just going to go ahead and set this in a safe area. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. This nut right here is reverse threaded. Clockwise to loosen it, lefty loosey to tighten it. Got it? Good, let's take this nut off. So right now I'm holding the brake pedal with my foot, and I'm using my breaker bar and my 1 3/16 socket and taking off the bolt. Clockwise. Clockwise is loosening. Like that. So this other nut is 1 1/8 and that one is normal threaded. Just like that, there's your nut. There's magnets inside of here because this is where your stator is. So it is going to be a little bit difficult to get off. Like that. You got to break loose of those strong magnets. I'm going to just keep them like this and put them on the table. Alright, so I got to retrieve my spring again. That's my selector. So I might be able to, just like that, and then I gotta get my spring and put it back on, and shouldn't it work again? Because all this rod's doing is transferring the motion from the shifter into here, so I might be able to get away. Let me see if I can get that spring. So I found the spring. So I might, just because this is my motorcycle, and I'm okay with dealing with the consequences of this not working, I might send it by doing this. I might send it. So we're gonna put this in here, put this up. Goes like that. And it's back together. I'm gonna leave this alone for tonight, and I think I'm gonna put it back together and see if this works. So what must have happened is when it fell, it must have jolted this and it must have made the spring fall out, which isn't a big deal. But the shaft did get a little bit dinged, but as long as it still shifts normally, I'm gonna leave it alone. But if it does end up feeling weird or off, I'm just gonna replace it because I don't want to be stranded on a motorcycle. I'm probably gonna leave this all in the same part though. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this like this, get the gaskets for it, put it all back together, and see if I can ride this thing the way it is, which I think I can. So I'll see you guys when I'm got the gaskets, I'm putting this back together. Bye! Today is day 2 of getting the Sportster back together. I got the primary fluid, and I got all the gaskets that we'll need to get this thing back together. I bought all this from Harley-Davidson, and it was $64 even. I also paid cash, so that helps. So the reason why I'm trying to push this video series through and get this thing running again is because next Wednesday we're going to be going up to Put-in-Bay, and I want to get this bike ready for that, and you guys will be seeing a video very shortly of that. I plan on posting this video either tonight or tomorrow at the latest, so you know there's no skips in the video series. Like one video you see the bike is running again, then the next video you see me finishing the bike. Doesn't add up. So you guys are going to get an early upload than what's usual, so stay tuned for that. The Put-in-Bay trip is going to be sick. Alright, so what you seen earlier in this video, we got the shifter shaft finger back on with the spring back on it. I think it's going to be fine. Alright. That feels a lot better. Alright, so now that's on, I'm going to go ahead and get the nuts and thread those on. I did need to get the torque specs for these as well. So we're going to start with our nut for our clutch basket. You want to make sure this washer, this outer part, is going into the nut like this. When you tighten it, this compresses, so you want to have it like this. Do not flip it like that. Have the tapered side going into the nut. And remember that this is reverse threaded, so you're going to go counterclockwise to tighten. So I'm just cleaning off the threads on here. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of Loctite to this nut. I'm just doing a single line through the threads. Because once you spin the nut on there, it'll get all around the threads. Yep. It says right on that washer too, it says the word out on this tapered side. So it does label which side needs to be out. So the way I got this torque spec is I called a local motorcycle auto repair shop. Harley-Davidson does not display their torque specs. What the guy told me on the phone is what he does 175 on the front nut and 80 foot-pounds on the rear nut. So 175 foot-pound, 80 foot-pound is what I'm doing. This is a 2019 Harley-Davidson Sportster converted into a 1200. Now the red Loctite should keep it on. I brought my very fancy torque wrench from work, and this is going to be reverse thread. This automatically senses when you're going reverse. So I'm going to have to hold on to the brake pedal as I'm torquing this. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did before. There's 80. Now the front nut is 175. Apply the Loctite. This one is regular threaded, so we're going to go clockwise. I'm going to clean out my threads. Make sure you use a microfiber so you don't get any lint inside your primary case. Okay. A line is created. I'm just gonna get a piece of wood and jam it into the chain in the sprocket. I'm gonna try to aim more towards the flywheel just because that's a more stronger metal. So I could torque this down to 175 foot-pounds. That's quite a bit. Oh shoot. I don't like that. Oh man. I really do not like that. There's probably a flywheel holding tool. Stupid. It didn't hurt anything because it's wood. It's just my thing is that it's not really like fully secure because it is still spinning when you torque it, but that red Loctite should help it. It's only on the flywheel. So the flywheel and the chain is the only thing that really mess with the wood. We're gonna rotate it just to be safe. Alright, so the Loctite's on, nuts are tight. This is our clutch plate. So you have to compress this enough to get it back in here so you can install our snap ring. So you want to make sure when you're installing this assembly, that bottom ring needs to be seated into all the clutch spring fingers. That bottom ring right there. So your snap ring can go on. So I have it all assembled now, ready to go on. I'm gonna go inside here and I can install my snap ring now. Alright, just cleaned off my snap ring. I'm gonna go ahead and install it now. Usually I could get away with doing this by hand for transmissions anyways. Like that. I'm just gonna line up this snap ring to make it flush with one of these fingers. Like that. Beautiful. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove my tool. Take my 17 wrench, go on the nut, go counterclockwise. Like so. Now we're ready to put on our case. I'm going to throw the gasket on over my dowel pins. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start all the bolts and tighten them. I'm running low on battery life, so I'm going to turn off my phone, throw all the screws in, and then get all this set up. Alright, let me go and finish the torque on these. Alright, so now we're going back together. We got to feed the clutch cable through here and tighten this guy down. Oh boy, this don't want to flex. There's a 9/16 nut right here. I'm gonna go and start tightening this down. Oh. Oh my God. I didn't even tighten it yet. I don't even understand it. Like, I didn't even get to tighten it yet. Like, it literally freaking snapped. So I'm gonna get a new clutch cable. That's gonna put this bill in a freaking hold. That sucks. I can't do anything until I replace that now. I'm gonna call around some Harley-Davidson dealers. Just this kind of stuff, things go wrong like this crap. I literally have it on video. I didn't even get to tighten it yet. I figured that jolt was the feeling of this O-ring getting into that seat. But no, that jolt was the freaking thread snapping in two. I don't know how I over-tightened it because I never got to tighten that. So I'm going to have to call around to some Harley-Davidson dealers and see if I can't find a clutch cable before next week. So I'm going to upload this tonight still so I have more footage for once I do get the clutch cable so I can finish this. But that kind of sucks. Well, I hope you guys at least have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.